Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to the final part of DSP's top 10 worst moments throughout the year of 2020. And my camera is not technically in position, so I've got to fix it. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. This will take but a few moments. I just kind of want to make sure I get this right before we get in, because there's about 40 minutes to get through, and which means I probably won't get to sleep until at least midnight. Let the trailer trashing begin. Now, in case you need a recap on just about all the other things that happened on this list, Phil moans a lot, he bitches a lot, he doesn't seem to take much notice when, you know, he realizes that nobody, not even his icons, dislike him so much. He dislikes the people who used to support him. He dislikes Amazon because they wouldn't, pander to his, ass. He got, duped by trolls because, he can't look after his finances properly. He can't stay out of trouble from, DMCA police because all he can think to do is issue threats and whatever else. He begs people to pay him money, so he just go and put a stupid vest on, and then he blows over $40,000 on a video game. So what on earth could topple literally all of those? Because the last one, ladies and gentlemen, was quite frankly appalling. But let's just see what is the worst. What's worse than that?
Number 1.
And of course there's an ad incoming.
At
Nurofen, nobody cares.
Give it your best shot!
This is great, come on.
Oh.
Fucking, you're kidding me!
I did kind of remember they mentioned this a few times throughout the video, that apparently Phil was declaring bankruptcy. For someone who doesn't really know too much about what that actually entails, I think it's something like about where you declare that you can't pay any more of your rent, or there's certain things you just simply cannot pay for anymore because you've tried selling stuff, you've tried doing a lot of other things, but you couldn't do it, so you have to ask the state so they can relieve you of your back taxes and that. Now I think that's kind of what happens, because I'm not really sure we have that sort of thing in the UK. Well, nobody that I know of recently has ever declared bankruptcy, so who knows? Let's see.
Bankruptcy.
I had to leave that job prematurely, which I didn't want to do, and I was in a lot of debt when I did, because I had moved out of my parents' house. I had spent all this money to live in an apartment, and I thought I was going to have steady income, and the job didn't work out.
Now, I gotta give you some perspective for those of you who are not longtime fans and viewers. At the time, I had just purchased a condo. I'd only been in it for a year, this condo that I'm living in right now. So I had a big mortgage payment. I had a car payment. I had all this debt and stuff that I was trying to pay off through this job, and they just, at the drop of a hat, laid me off. And by the way, it wasn't like anything that people knew was coming. I'm at a point in my life where I am capable of moving out of the state of Connecticut, which is way too effing expensive, and I see no reason to continue to live there. And why would I spend my money on other things when I can put all this time and effort into the move? And I decided that this year we were going to move, and so here we are. We're in Washington, brand new place, early stages, but still, it's nice, brand new place. And unfortunately, I'll say that we don't have the money. We do not have the money to go on any kind of vacations or do any kind of major stuff. as I explained before the move, this move was going to tap me out financially, and what it's done is basically put me in a lot of debt. I financed out everything, this that you see right here, this sectional, the table that my laptop's sitting on, my new PC, all the furniture for the house has all been financed, which means that I will pay it off gradually over the course of a year, and as long as I pay it off by next year, I don't have to pay any interest on it. But what that means is I really literally am stretched so thin that I don't have any expendable income. All my money that I'm making is going to have to be going towards paying off all the stuff that I got for the house. Stay the fuck away from credit cards. Credit cards are the worst kind of debt possible. If you can, pay cash for what you can every month. I know it's tough. I know because I was in the same situation and I ended up losing my job, and because of that I ended up having to use credit cards to pay for things for months on end. I went to Evo with nothing but a credit card. I racked up a ton of debt, which I paid off until just recently. I finally paid off my final credit card debts and I was so relieved. But it is very, very bad to get racked up credit card debt. It hurts your credit score immensely, by the way, to have massive amounts of credit card debt. I can at least
say from my own perspective, I've never been in debt, because I'm pretty sure once you get in debt, it's almost impossible to get out of it. Now, again, that might not technically be true, because there are miracles that do come out of nowhere, but from my own perspective, it's best not to get involved in the first place with debt.
Yes, that's number one. That's kind of, the situation. Bankruptcy would be like if things insanely got bad. Like let's say on top of all my financial troubles already, and by the way, there's other stuff going on behind the scenes too that you guys don't know about that I've alluded to and haven't given you the full story on. If everything went horribly wrong at once, like let's say I had a debilitating disease and I couldn't even work, right? And something else crazy happened and now there was literally no way that I could make money and pay the bill, then maybe I could declare bankruptcy. But that would be like the last case scenario on top of everything, okay? 10-year legacy, to give up on it and say, well, I give up now because, YouTube screwed me over in this way with this stupid automated crap. Let me just give up completely and just go get a full-time job that probably I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. More than likely, I'll have to declare bankruptcy. That's what I'm thinking, because I have so much debt in my name. If I don't have YouTube revenue and I can't find a way to make up for it in any way, there's no way I can pay my bills. So immediately what I'm going to have to do, call all of most of the debt people who I owe money and say, listen, I can't pay you anymore. And probably look into bankruptcy and shit like that, which I don't want to do. It's going to ruin my life. It's going to ruin my credit, and everything will be screwed. Very shortly, if by the end of the year this doesn't turn around, I don't think you're going to be seeing me around as much as you did, if at all, because I won't be able to do YouTube as a job anymore. I was actually, literally, I was on the phone with my mother today, talking to her about this, and she's like, well, how could you get out of all that debt? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Declare bankruptcy and ruin my credit and having to move out of this house? You know what I mean? I got an anonymous dollar tip saying, why don't I just declare bankruptcy? Listen, the bottom line is, I wish that there were easy ways out of everything. Right now, at least from what I'm to understand, because I own 2 homes, okay, and because basically, let me put it this way. People who declare for bankruptcy...
What? You own 2 houses? What do you mean you own 2 houses? Like, are you paying for like 2 houses? I mean, is somebody living in this other house? I mean, I know he lives in Seattle, Washington. Is he also talking about the other home in Connecticut? Why exactly does he own 2 places? Something about this isn't adding up. Aside from the fact that, what we learned last time for dumping 40,000, if not more, it's probably more likely 45,000 into WWE champions. Phil, listen, I know I've said this to you before, you should really sort of take your own advice, but I mean it this time. Think about what you're doing, think about what you're talking about, and then you've got to understand exactly how you think you sound or even come across when you realize you're in the middle of this right now. Not to mention what you're blowing your money on. Not saving it, blowing it on.
are allowed to declare bankruptcy because they've sought every other option and none of them work. Alright? They've tried everything.
Bankruptcy is a legal process through which people or other entities who cannot repay debts to creditors may seek relief from some of all of their debts. In most jurisdictions, bankruptcy is imposed by a court order, often initiated by the debtor, synonym for insolvency. Well, at least we're learning something. I'm learning a lot of things from DSP tonight.
There have been a couple months when, 2 weeks I was overdrawn on my bank account. Thank God they kept paying everything. And then I make enough money to kind of come back a little bit. But I'm now at the point where I just can't do it anymore. So the only way I would ever qualify for something like bankruptcy, I need to get rid of one of my homes. Namely the one I don't use, the one that I've been trying to get rid of for 5 fucking years. And I'm working on that right now. I'm in the midst of multiple
No. Okay, Phil. So nobody lives in that other house. So it's just staying there gathering dust. Call me old-fashioned, Phil, because I'm going to speak to you like man to man now. Take this from me. This is not the time to start playing Minecraft. This is the time to really think about what the hell you're doing with your life, and then you can go and play. I mean, yes, I've said basically all year long I've been making videos. I mean, what's the date now? I know, he's an annoying little shit, isn't he? What are we up to right now? August 18th. Of course, there have been other moments this year in which I've just had other stuff to prioritize, because, you know, that's just... you gotta do what you gotta do, so... Again, I apologize for that.
Things with the mortgage company. That's one of the things that's stressing me out a lot recently. I have to do a lot of fucking work with these assholes, and they're basically telling me, oh, we'll qualify you for this, we'll qualify me for that, and then say, oh, you don't qualify for it. And I'm like, well, I did all this work on my end to provide you with information, to provide you with evidence of my financial situation, to provide you with all this, and then after all that, you telling me I should qualify, then you tell me I don't. Alright? So, in reality, what needs to happen is, I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen.
In reality, Phil, you still haven't understood the way you come across is going to wildly colour people's perceptions of you. If you're really going to call the people the people who are trying to like get your house in Connecticut sold, if you're just going to call them assholes, then don't be surprised when they just turn you down for whatever it is they're going to offer anyway. Because I'll level with him. The house, if this is the one in Connecticut, this doesn't look too bad, I'll be honest. I've seen much worse places, but at the same time, you've got to realize that if you're that serious about getting rid of it, you just go with what they say. You got to do that, Phil. What other choice do you have?
Pay that condo anymore. They're gonna eventually foreclose on it, or they're gonna make a deal with me about, like, let's say, okay, you know, we'll take back the condo and you pay us a minimal amount of money every month for the next 20 years or whatever to write off the amount of money that you still owed us as the principal on the mortgage or whatever. Something like that, you know what I mean? I can't afford the condo, I'm not going to pay it anymore. They're going to foreclose on it, take it. Once it's out of my name, then they're probably going to go through the process of either making an arrangement with me of me paying what I owe or suing me to try to get it. Once that happens, alright, now my credit will be bad. So now not only do I have all this debt, but my credit is bad too. Alright? On top of that, right, I only own one home anymore, and it's a home that I have to keep to do my work. I can't do my work in another home because I have my office here, I have the right internet set up, I have everything I need to work on a daily basis. So now I have an argument if I want to try to declare bankruptcy and say, listen, here's my situation. I have an insane amount of debt compared to what I make. There's no way I can pay it off reasonably. I had 2 homes, one of them's gone, got foreclosed on because I couldn't afford it. You know, here's my situation. Then, maybe I could do it. Alright? And basically my mom sat me down and said, you got to understand, you're at a point in your life now where something's got to change. And there's concrete things that have to happen to change in your life, because if you don't change them, you're going to be fucked for the rest of your life. You're going to lose your house, you're going to lose everything. So, even though you don't want to do this stuff, you're just going to have to do it, okay? So, the day I got back from Connecticut, I stopped paying my mortgage in Connecticut. That is the condo that I used to own in Connecticut. That's the place where I used to film and do all that stuff. I stopped paying it, all right? I contacted the mortgage company at that time, and this was in April of 2019, and I said, I can't pay this anymore. This is ridiculous drain on my finances. It's a condo that my aunt can't live in anymore because she passed away. I can't rent it. I've tried to find renters. I can't find any reliable renters to rent this place out. My parents can't deal with being renters in this place. They're elderly at this point and they have health problems. I basically can't afford the condo anymore. I had a big payment that I stopped paying. Now the bad news is the only thing that I could stop paying was the mortgage. I still had to keep paying the stupid condo association fees over there, which were over $400 a fucking month. I still are paying them now. So anyway, I fully explained to the bankruptcy lawyer up front, chances are anything that could be public on the internet is going to go public, okay? And so I had discussions with the bankruptcy lawyer about how to go about this, how to discuss it, what to publicly reveal, what to not publicly reveal, okay? And essentially,
hang on. Something else was just sort of like occurred to me just before we go any further. Did Phil not think about, getting his other place sold first before getting the place he lives in now in Seattle? This doesn't make sense.
Once I had explained to the bankruptcy lawyer everything, they responded in this manner. It sounds to me like no matter what, these people who are after you are so crazy fucking obsessed. I didn't say fucking, but they're so crazy obsessed with you, they're going to find everything out anyway.
Foreclosure is a legal process in which a lender attempts to recover the balance of a loan from a borrower who has stopped making payments to the lender by forcing the sale of the asset used by the controller for the loan. Okay.
As soon as the bank formally filed for the foreclosure on me for this property in Connecticut, immediately the trolls find it and post it all over the internet, right? It was like the day of. It wasn't even like a delay. So these idiots literally sit there refresh to find this information about me. It's insane. But they found it, okay?
DSP declaring bankruptcy. Oh no. Voluntary petition for individuals filing for bankruptcy. This is Phil's bankruptcy petition form. This is widely available to view on the internet to view. This bankruptcy petition form is 50 pages long, including other forms that are linked to the bankruptcy. That's a lot of pages. If your household income is lower than your median income of your state, you can receive a discharge in a Chapter 7 case. If it's higher, you might still pass the means test after subtracting allowed expenses. If you qualify for Chapter 7 but want to take advantage of benefits only afforded in Chapter 13, such as catching up on a home loan, then you can pay into a 3-year plan, Chapter 13 plan, rather than a 5-year plan. Whether or not DSP could actually even do either of these things is a good point. $131,000, $555.28. Phil has declared 14 bank loans on his bankruptcy. He had 14 bank. That almost sounds like the work of a con artist for doing that. These total up to over $130,000. I'm glad the music and the way this is edited is the way it is, because this is almost something out of a horror film. Are you kidding me?
This is Jasper, ladies and gentlemen. Jasper the cat. Arr, get that twisty. His favorite toy is these twisty things that we bought for him. These little strands.
$100 a peck. It's. I think that's absolutely fat. So Phil found out that he needs cat food when he clearly stated that he didn't own a cat. Right, okay. From reading Phil's bankruptcy form, besides his lies, it seems his answers are often conflicting information.
Connecticut, we really don't have this out here. You don't go to Washington to go to the beach, you know what I mean? And I'm at home, my Super Mario Brothers 3 artwork. So this is by Square Painter since I moved here. These things I've had, they all were hanging in Connecticut, in my condo there. I just put them away, you know, out of sight, out of mind, right? And I have a commemorative plaque that was issued in early 2013, and I bought this on a whim. I didn't even know about it, and someone told me about it. I said, oh shit, and I rushed to the site, and it was there, available. I bought it. Dude, this sold out. I'm not even kidding you. It sold out within an hour online. So I was number 377 of 434 that were ever sold. From what I don't understand, this plaque is worth a lot of money, because it's got both the signatures of CM Punk and Paul Heyman. There it is. I've still got a ton of these statues that I never sold. If you remember a couple years back when I first moved to Washington, I was looking to raise extra funds.
Well, electronics, yeah, he's got to have dozens of them. And he puts out nowhere to them anyway.
What's going on, folks? Phil here with a special vlog, a quick walkthrough vlog, because the other day, series Dragon Ball Z, Rick and Morty, which, I believe Tyler sent me. Thank you. Shout out to him. You never even eat at these places. There you see my DVD collection. Giant, right? Giant DVD collection against the wall there, but a bed, a TV with nothing under it because I got rid of the cable box because it wasn't even working. Oh! And we've got a light. There is a light on the front, so apparently it is working. It's getting power. See that?
This is not good, Phil. Tell you what now, Phil, if I was the bankruptcy lawyer, I would immediately deem this as, you obviously lying, and that... I don't know technically what the legal penalties are if you lie on stuff like this, but... I would probably have to discuss it with people who know more about this sort of thing in the law than I do. But I'm not exactly very impressed from what I've seen. Oh, come on, Phil, really?
So this was a work in progress. It wasn't completely done. We're going to take those DVD racks out of the front hallway. All right? There they are. And we're going to move them right here and put them against the wall. So this will be the DVD wall.
Zillow doesn't list his condominium on the website. Phil made this number up. Yeah. However, Redfin lists the estimated sale price at $408K to $450K, with a current value of $428.5. Realtor.com doesn't really give a price for the condo itself, but lists the medium sale price at $420,000. Movoto lists their expect price at $425,000.
So now, if you're interested in tipping me, there's two ways you can do it. There's a tips jar button below the stream you can click on, or you can type !tip into the stream chat, and that'll bring you to my PayPal tips page. Some things to know about it. First of all, you can either tip using a registered PayPal account, if you have one, or you can use a debit or credit card.
Oh no. Is this where...
My bankruptcy lawyer got sick, had the flu, and because of that, she couldn't make the first bankruptcy hearing. So we just didn't go, and it got rescheduled, and because of virus, it became a phone-in meeting.
Okay, the next matter is Philip Burnell.
I am present.
Mr. Burnell, would you raise your right hand?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Did you prepare and file with the bankruptcy court a list of all of your assets and all of your liabilities?
Yes.
Are those documents, including the petition, the schedules, and the statement of financial affairs, true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Are there any changes that need to be made?
No.
Before you filed these documents, did you read them?
Yes.
Are you still self-employed?
Yes.
And what is that self-employment?
The company's name is Burnell Productions. It is internet content creation of on-demand and also live video streaming services.
The first thing you have listed here is real property in Connecticut. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Is the property currently rented?
No.
Okay, when's the last time you made a payment?
April or May of 2019. I believe it was probably April.
You also list real property in Renton, is that correct?
That's correct.
Are the mortgage payments current on this property?
Yes.
Is the property insured?
Yes.
And is this a house or a condo? Mr. Burnell, is this a house or a condo? Hello? Mr. Burnell?
Nancy?
Yes?
Sorry, there's 60 people on the line for this call, so I think that's the problem.
Okay. Well, let's try and just keep going. So, Mr. Burnell, my question was, is this a house or a condo?
You do the condo.
Okay, so let me go through some assets that some of your creditors have told me that you might own, and if you could tell me if they're personal or business, and if you still have them. How about a standard PlayStation 4?
That is, I still own it. It is business related.
Nintendo 3DS.
Yes, business related, and I do still own that.
Essentially, the 3DS, not only did I play many games on it back in the day and capture them, but before that, I also played many games on the 3DS as well. So the 3DS, the least of all, I use the 3DS a significant amount. Years ago. Now I'm not so much in the modern day, but I used to.
PlayStation Vita.
Yes, I do still own the PlayStation Vita, and it is business related, and I do still own it.
Original Bloodborne run, I used it remote play to grind in the game at night. So I would play Bloodborne during the day on stream, and then at night I would grind in the game on my Vita. Outside of that, I never used the Vita ever again. The only other use it ever got was Kat last year played Persona 4 Golden on it. Outside of that, it's now just sitting around doing nothing, and there's no games for it. They've ceased production. No one's making games for it anymore.
PlayStation Virtual Reality.
Yes, I do still own the PlayStation Virtual Reality, and it is business related, and I have it.
The PlayStation VR, I gave it a lot of use at launch. If you remember, I mean, at least I played 5, 6, 7 launch games for the damn thing, right? The VR died just because it was a gimmick. No one wants to design games that can only work with VR that are not going to sell nearly as much as a game that's a mainstream game. Especially in the modern era when a lot of these companies are looking for surefire hits, no one's going to take a crazy risk designing a AAA VR game.
Do you have a PlayStation 4 Pro system?
That's correct. That is business related, and I do still have it.
Okay, who purchases the various gaming pieces?
I do.
You personally?
Yes.
Someone who is a very generous person who prefers to remain anonymous is donating a PS4 Pro, and thank God, because just recently I've been having so many problems again with my PS4. A very nice fan of mine has donated a Nintendo Switch to me.
So your business is included on your personal tax return?
Yes.
Okay, originally you listed only one bank account with Bank of America, is that correct?
That is correct.
And then I think you filed an amendment where you listed a PayPal account.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So tell me how your PayPal account works.
PayPal is an online currency system where people can send funds digitally, and they're held in a virtual, that's not technically a bank account, but it's a virtual account, which can then be used to make purchases online. There's a debit card system. The way it works is, as I am creating content, people willingly decide whether or not they want to contribute to help me to continue to create content. Some people will go to what I call my PayPal tips page online, and they submit funds via my PayPal account.
Okay, wait, what did you call that again? What did you call that PayPal what account?
Tips page. That's what I call it, a PayPal tips page. It's just an online website address.
Okay. So these crowdfunding, would be considered like someone wants to give you a gift and that's how they give it to you?
Yes. From my understanding, from speaking with my tax attorney, a charitable contribution, it would be the same as if someone went to a restaurant and you were a waiter or a waitress or a bartender and did a good job, and someone said, "Oh, I really like the job you did," so they would give the person a tip. So it's the same premise with me.
I'm looking at the PayPal account that you have sent me. One has Twitch Interactive Incorporated, sends you a check, and then it looks like that same amount goes out, says instant withdraw to debit card. How does that work?
Yes. What it is that it's a PayPal account, and then I put it into my bank account via the debit card. It's an instant transfer, so that way I can use it, for bills and other things.
Okay. You've provided me a copy of your PayPal account for 1 month. I would like to see the last 6 months of both of your PayPal statements.
Okay, I think I have that. Actually, I wasn't sure if you needed all of that, but I'll send that over.
Yeah, oftentimes I don't, as you know, but this one I want to see the last 6 months. So you indicate that you have a business of Brunel Productions, is that correct?
That is correct.
And is this considered a corporation or a sole proprietorship? What is it?
I believe it's a sole proprietorship.
Are you entitled to a tax refund for 2019?
No.
Do you own or have any access to any online gaming packages?
If you mean like subscription-based gaming services, yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, what is WWE Network?
Oh, no.
Can you repeat that, please?
What is WWE Network?
Can you repeat that, please?
What is WWE Network?
WWE
Oh,
Network.
WWE Network. That is just an on-demand video service for watching, professional wrestling. That is not business related.
How about Twitch? How much do you make a month from Twitch?
I would average, let's just say between 3,000.
Let's just say. You don't say. Let's just say. Say.
2,000.
Yeah.
3 to 4.
3 to 4.
How about Streamlabs?
Streamlabs, that's a program that I used to stream, but I don't make revenue from that.
You provided to me, looks like summaries might be considered a profit and loss. It talks about net profit / loss calculations. You have various columns here. I just want a little bit of explanation. Obviously, the first one is self-explanatory. You have the months. The next column you list profit / income gross. And then you say expenses total. And then you say, and in a separate column you have just business expenses. What's the difference between those two and how do you calculate them?
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I believe what you're referencing is that...
It's
Oh, is it right in front of you?
Yeah.
I believe I broke it down so that in one case it would be all the money that I make, the gross profit, minus the business expenses. Then the other case was showing in regards to all of my personal debts, including the payments that I was making on things like credit cards and things like that. I think from the top of my head, I think that's what you're speaking of.
Okay. What do you consider a business?
Is it me, or is she sounding just a little bit bored of this? I'm getting that. Are you guys getting that impression? Because I think she's not buying this for 1 second. She feels as if there's too many miscalculations all in this. There's too many things not adding up.
Expense.
Anything relating, to the business per the instruction of my tax attorney. So it could be, the cost of a video game, the cost of a subscription for a video game, a microtransaction within a video game, the internet, cost of internet every month. It could be cost of, utilities necessary for the business.
Reviewing your filing, it looks like you stated here that you have about $5,000 a month in business expenses. Can you itemize that for me?
Hold on. Okay.
He hasn't got an answer for that, does he?
Nancy, I'm not sure if this person is for Citibank.
I'm sorry, excuse me?
I'm not sure. Are you? Are you?
I'm calling representing Citibank. Yes, Citibank. What are you talking
Right.
about?
Are you an attorney or what's your position at Citibank or?
I work in collections.
I don't know. This doesn't seem.
This seems like a sort of an attempt to back out of answering the very transparent question reviewing these files, which is that he has $5,000 a month in business expenses, which does not make any sense.
In collections at Citibank appear on a case, so this seems a little strange. We'll answer the questions, but it just
great.
We've been answering the questions.
Hold on just a second. Where are you seeing $5,000 a month on business expenses?
He's listed over $5,000 a month on expenses, so he's got $5,000 a month in income, $5,000 a month in expenses, and basically the gross income that he's claiming that he's making is $35. So where are the $5,000 a month in business expenses? Yes, if that's claimed as personal expenses instead, I would still like to get an idea of how exactly he itemizes that. Because the amount of income that I'm seeing, he's claiming that it varies, but the time that he filed, it just happened to be during a very high spike in expenses, which doesn't really make any sense to me.
Do you have schedule?
As long as we've established that he's realized that he was insolvent in October, that's really all I needed.
Okay.
So it's fine.
I mean, I don't want to cut your questions off. I'm just trying to make sure that you're understanding the forms the way they're intended.
Right, I understand. He's claiming that he's got $5,000 a month in expenses and only $5,000 a month in income, and nets about $35, which still doesn't really make any sense to me, when he's claiming that he gets $1,000 from YouTube, $4,000 from Twitch. That's $5,000 right there. But then he's also claiming that he gets these donations or tips or whatever it is through his stream itself, which is separate from the service paying him for streaming.
Okay, I understand your question. Do you have a further explanation, Mr. Burnell?
I've already broken down how my expenses work. I don't know what this gentleman is referencing specifically. All the information is there, so I don't know exactly what he's looking for.
Okay.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
I'm just asking you to explain your expenses.
Which we've done.
So why are you asking again?
I do not see anywhere that adds up to $5,000 of expenses monthly, or that warrants paying extra money for video games and things post-October when you realize that you were insolvent.
Okay, there appears to be no further creditors who are asking questions.
If I was in court about this and I started talking to somebody who worked in collections too like that, I'm going to go on a very sure limb that they're not going to be too happy with me. I'm also going to go on a limb and say that probably no one would have been happy with me if I talked to them like that. I'm surprised Phil was not, reprimanded or even, punished for for being like that in court.
I have no further questions. You are excused and you may hang up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, well, that was a disaster. The conclusion. Update 24th April 2020. The bankruptcy petition was amended to include personal assets previously unlisted, valued at $2,700. These were then put on the exemptions list so they can't be sold by the trustee to pay off creditors if the bankruptcy is approved. One cat. Poor Jasper. Order of discharge. Wait, so that means that are you kidding me? Phil was approved for his bankruptcy and had his credit card debt discharged, in spite of his many suspicious details within his paperwork. $131,000, I think that's what they said. Many of which the things he lied about, and he got it granted. They basically just let him off the hook. That's what I'm getting from all this. They let him off the hook where some people absolutely wouldn't have stood a chance. I'm hopping, ladies and gentlemen. I am absolutely I'm fuming. You've got to be kidding me. Midfirst Bank continues to pursue Phil within the court for the remainder of his debt on the Connecticut condo. That's it. Sorry, but boo.
I don't play the fucking WWE mobile game. I don't do any of this shit. I'm so tired of it because I thought, oh, that's a meme that's tied in with the bankruptcy. Maybe it'll finally go away. They're still doing it. It's like, are you out of your fucking minds? I got the bankruptcy, you dumb fucking shits. You're not getting anywhere with this meme that you're continuing on. It's doing absolutely nothing. You're so fucking stupid. I mean, earlier this year with the whole bankruptcy thing, all right, that was something that was very painful to me. That was something that was personal, that I didn't want it to go public. It had to go public because there were going to be public documents, and of course people were going to get wind of it, meaning I'm a public personality, right? I have a private life, but sadly when you do file something for bankruptcy, it goes public. So people were going to know about this no matter what, all right? I was still in a situation where financially my life was falling apart, and I didn't know what was going to happen. I was in the midst of a bankruptcy proceeding and everything. Since then, in the last 5 months, here's how positively things have turned around. The bankruptcy was granted. I have gotten caught up on taxes to the point where now I get to think about being proactive and actually doing awesome stuff for the rest of this year to improve the quality of the streams. It was pretty fucked up. To say the least, it was pretty fucked up to the point where, I'm not kidding, I was having behind the scenes private meetings with judges, okay, about my bankruptcy proceeding because they were so bombarded with trolling and fake information from the internet, they couldn't believe it. And they needed to sit down with me to actually discuss the facts of my life, my finances, how things work with my business or whatever, because they had been bombarded with so much fake information that they couldn't make heads or tails of anything. They really couldn't. They were like, you got to understand, we've got now probably hundreds of emails of information that we don't even know what this is. Some of it makes it sound like you're a criminal who should be in federal prison. And other things are just so ludicrous that we don't know what to believe. And it was just a nightmare. It really was a nightmare process for everyone involved because of these people. There were people saying that I owned things that I didn't own. There were people saying that I had so much value of things in the house that doesn't exist, or the value just isn't there. People who just don't understand the process. Okay? They just don't. They don't understand the process, how bankruptcy works. And they're making shit up constantly. But because they're making shit up, I have to now tell people about things and disclose things and explain things. But the good news is the bankruptcy went through. It took a long fucking time and a lot of shit, but it went through because thank God the truth prevails, and thank God it doesn't matter how much slander is all over the internet, that people listen to reason and see the truth when facts are presented. Because a lot of things in my life aren't like that. Because that really was the start of a major positive push in 2020 for me and my family. Because now not having all of that debt looming over our heads now means that the money that comes in as a result of me streaming can now be put towards all the things it should have been going towards to begin with. My taxes, the mortgage, the car payment, the utilities, food and things for the house and stuff. This year was very different. I had the money for it because the bankruptcy went through, you see? So thank God it did. And if it didn't go through because those shitheads were making stuff up about me and trying to be really nasty and ruin my life, this could have been the end of everything this year. This, like I said, this was the make or break year for us, where I could have lost the house, I could have lost everything. And it would have been because of trolls on the internet. As stupid as that sounds, because I qualified for bankruptcy. Everything lined up and I qualified for it, and I should have gotten it. And if I didn't get it, it would have been because of them making shit up, not because of anything that I did wrong. How fucked up is that? And now that situation is over. And I'm so grateful for that. Because now I can live a life again. I can actually live a life where I can look forward to the future positively and say, wow, things might go really well if things can keep going the way they are on streams, and as long as no crazy shit comes out of the blue. Because as you guys know, so many times over the years, my accountant doing my taxes wrong, you owe this out of nowhere, this amount of money, your channels get shut down, now you can't make money. You guys know how much shit can come out of left field and screw me over. It's happened so many times in the 12 years I've been a content creator. But this year, things kind of flipped towards the positive for me in that regard, okay? So I'm happy. The future looks as bright as this is looking right now, as the sun is coming in my window and changing the lighting of the stream. The future is looking bright right now, and I'm very happy because of that, all right? Obviously, guys, I'm grateful that the law prevailed this year when it came to my bankruptcy. I'm very grateful that I hired someone as a bankruptcy lawyer who wanted to listen to the facts and didn't want to listen to the bullshit that everyone said about me. I'm very grateful that the officials who were involved in the decision-making process of my bankruptcy actually listened to the facts when I presented them and did not believe crazy conspiracy theories that were completely unsubstantiated because they just weren't true. I'm very happy that the legal system actually worked for me this year, because there were a chance that, because like I said, I've lost opportunities in my life, sponsorships and the like. A major reason why I'm in the financial straits I'm in is because I can't get sponsorships, because those sponsors don't want to deal with me because of the trolling. The trolling did not ruin the bankruptcy, thank God. It made it much harder, but it didn't ruin it. So I'm very grateful that the legal system worked this year for me and has actually put me back on my feet and on the road to financial recovery, that if I didn't get that bankruptcy, I never would have gotten out of it. I mean it. I never would have gotten out of this. It would have just been ruined for the rest of my life. I don't even know how I would have gotten out of it. Okay? I don't know if there was some voodoo going on or if there is a God out there or whatever, but this could have been a very, very bad year, and it wasn't. And I'm very, very happy for it.
After watching this, I'm not even sure if there is God anymore. Thank you, Phil. I can't even be bothered to look at you anymore. I don't want to look at this. I feel like I've been slapped in the face and kicked in the nuts.
For that. These are actually tears of joy that everyone in my life is okay, alright?
Me. Is there anything else?
Thank you guys for the support this year. Unprecedented. I never expected in a million years I would get that level of support that I did this year, alright? And it changed things for a positive, turned things from the bankruptcy being granted and then the vestry, totally 180 from negative to positive for me, okay? And I'm so grateful for that, alright?
Although 2020 was a year of great trials, together we can make the positive changes that will lead to a better year in 2021.
Newsflash, no it doesn't. Hey, all elite.
If we all pull together and look after one another, we can work towards a better tomorrow and a brighter future for everyone.
Well, that's nice.
I got a tip, and it's a weird anonymous tip, and I just want to take a look at it because it might be fake. It's just weird. Yeah, I don't even know who this is. I'm just gonna fucking refund this. I don't even know what this is. I'm just fucking refunding this and banning this person. I get some weird shit like, what the fuck is that? I don't know what that means. I don't know why this person wrote it in all caps. I don't want your money because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So, that's enough of that. Oh my god.
If you're loving the viewing experience, please like, subscribe, comment below, and share this video on the social media you desire. Thank you.
And there we go. I'm not sitting through another ad. I don't want to sit through any more ads. I've had enough of listening to ads. Oh god, right. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was the end of DSP's worst moments of 2020. I know I'm going pretty late into doing this, but let me just let me make this point perfectly clear, ladies and gentlemen, just before we go any further. I'll probably I'll tell you what, I'm gonna maybe make an entire video just so like going over what I've just found out and honestly what my honest opinions about DSP really are. But all I'm just going to say this right now is I actually just cannot believe this. Do you realise, ladies and gentlemen, exactly that he mishandles his money, he goes and he basically just throws money on a fucking WWE game, and he acts as if, you know, he's learned absolutely nothing from his own experience, and no doubt he'll probably be worse off next year because he refused to change and people just kiss his ass and give him shit. I'll make a follow-up to this right now, ladies and gentlemen, but it's like 11:30 at night. I really need some sleep because this has given me quite a lot to think about. So, ladies and gentlemen, there will be a follow-up to this, but for now, good night. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and stay safe.